Okay, good morning and welcome to my tiny house. I had a lot of fun talking just to myself. I really enjoy rambling. I'm just gonna make this like a little series, just, you know, imparting my wisdom that I have learned over many years of, shall we call it, fucking around and finding out. That's kind of like what my life is. I feel like I've been to enough therapy that sometimes I say helpful things. Also, like, look at all of these baby hairs. I'm so happy that my baby hairs are starting to like actually grow out from losing my hair postpartum. I have no words to describe just how frustrating and annoying it is to have like clumps of your hair fall out and then grow back in like this. So we're just accepting it. I'm kind of back into my like fancy coffee era. I have just like my iced coffee and I made a cold foam. I think that's what they called it, Starbucks. But I did oat milk and it is flavored with maple syrup, vanilla extract, and then a hefty dosing of sea salt. She's pretty good. I think today's gonna be a big hair day. It is what it is. Something that I have struggled with a lot. This is probably going to be like a key thing through all of these little chats, is that these are things I have struggled with and then I've had to learn how to deal with it, like how to combat them, how to kind of pull myself out of this thought pattern. I think there's a cycle though that we have created for ourselves that has just been exacerbated by social media. We are in a world where we are shown the final product, the final image constantly. You are shown a completed movie. You're not shown the entire process of somebody creating that movie. You just see a trailer for it and then you go see it in the theater. You aren't shown someone's weekly weight loss updates. Most of the time you just see like, oh, I lost 50 pounds and this is what I look like now. You don't see someone going from running 2 miles a day to then winning a 100-mile race. Like, we don't see those little tiny steps, and so it's really easy to get in this mindset of like, I need to do this right now. This big goal I have, this big dream I have, it needs to happen right now because I'm behind, because everyone else is already ahead. Everyone else is already doing what I want to be doing. This person seemingly did not take very long to get to where I want to be. I am behind. And so I need to like make this giant leap. And I think it does two things. I think one, it makes us scared to try instead of being like a little step. This is jumping off of a cliff and I'm hoping something's gonna catch me. Or second, it's like, well, how am I ever supposed to get to there? Like, how am I supposed to actually accomplish what these people are accomplishing? It doesn't look like they had a learning process. It doesn't look like they had to train for something, or it doesn't look like they struggled through the shitty beginnings that we are currently in. And I think this also goes hand in hand a lot with like goal setting, which is kind of why I was thinking about it recently, because I think a lot of us set goals for 2025 and it's like new year, new you, like here's all these big audacious, ambitious things I want to be doing. Here's this new me that I want to be. Understandably, we're looking ahead. We're looking at like the big picture. This is what I want to be doing in a year, or this is what I look like in a year, or this is what my business is like in a year, whatever. Like, we are looking ahead at the final product. And instead of being encouraged by that, I think it's really easy to get discouraged and just like drown in everything that needs to be done. If you're like me, it can become very paralyzing. And so something that I have learned is walking back. Like, walk yourself back and look at the tiny steps and take one of those. My whole mantra to myself recently has been small steps over big leaps. Taking a big leap is not only scary and sometimes confusing, it's also, I think, a great way to quickly burn out, because you're just doing something huge and exhausting and then you're like, oh my god, is this how this entire process is going to be? I don't think it's helpful to hear the whole, the journey is the reward. I hate hearing that. People say that all the time, and to some extent that's kind of what I'm saying. I don't necessarily think you need to enjoy the journey to get to a goal, but I do think you need to go on that journey. I think there's a lot of goals where to get to that point or to succeed, it sucks. I run ultra marathons. Training is not necessarily fun. I really love running. I love it so much, but like, there are a lot of days where I'm like, I don't want to do this. I'm tired. This workout is really hard. Like, even racing, there's times where I'm like, oh my god, it'd be so much easier to just quit. Weight loss, that's another really big thing that I think people can get hung up on, because it's like, oh my god, like, I have to lose 20 pounds and that's a lot. I don't think dieting is always fun. And I know there's like a whole field of research behind this, and like, you know, it needs to be a lifestyle change, whatever, but it's not fun. Changing your life is not fun, and it's not easy. Change is uncomfortable. I think looking at your goals or where you want to be in life and saying, oh, well, I need to enjoy the journey, I don't think you have to. But I do think you need to take the journey, and you do need to take small steps, and I think that is how you prevent yourself from burning out and prevent yourself from just being paralyzed in inaction. Because that's what I do. I get paralyzed into inaction, and then I'm like, oh my god, I'm never gonna succeed. It's just impossible. If you are someone where it's like you want to live on the road full time, like you want to do van life, whatever, try going out for a weekend, you know, like go out for 3 days, see what it's like, then maybe take a week-long trip, like build yourself up to it. You don't need to go like buy a $50,000 Sprinter van and go live on the road full time. Go live on the road full time. You might find out that you actually don't want to live on the road full time. You just want to have the ability to go out for a week or so. If you want to be a full-time photographer or a content creator, do the projects yourself first. I cannot tell you how many years and how many photo shoots I put together with my friends, with my sisters, where we just did crazy stuff. We took the wildest photos. We actually were looking at them last night, and oh my god, like, I've come so far, and I did not start all this like I want to be a professional photographer and so people better start paying me right now. I was having fun with it as a kid and putting in the time and putting in the effort. Somebody's not going to just show up and pay you for doing what you want to be doing. If you want to be full-time as a creator or an artist, you need to start doing it on your own, start putting yourself out there, and take the little jobs. If you want to run a marathon, you're going to go run a mile first. What I recommend doing is take your big goal and work backwards. That's how I have always set my goals, but I think it's important to constantly remind yourself of what you're working towards and remind yourself that every little step counts. It's not a race, which I know we hear all the time, like, oh, it's not a race to get to this thing, but I know that it feels like you're running out of time, and I promise you're not. I have always felt like I'm running out of time, like I'm behind because, like, I don't know, somebody became a full-time content creator when they were 18, or somebody was a National Geographic photographer by the time they were 30, and I'm 27 and I'm not there. I haven't won my first ultra yet, and I'm 27. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things that you can feel behind on. You can always find someone who has done what you want to do already. There's always someone out there. But there's also people out there who are behind where you want to be, which I think should encourage you because we're all doing life on our own time. We're all just figuring this out as we go. Instead of looking at where someone's at and saying, oh my god, I wish I had that money or those resources or the time or whatever it is, instead of being like, I wish I had what they have, ask yourself, what is one small, tiny step I can take right now to get myself a little bit closer to that? If it's van life, go get a campsite somewhere and go camping for a couple nights. Do something little. If you want to be a professional photographer, get one of your friends to go with you and put it together a little shoot. If you want to run a marathon, start running a mile. Run a mile 3 times a week. Run 2 miles 4 times a week. Build up to it, because you're not gonna go out and run a marathon tomorrow, and if you do, trust me, I know from experience, it is not a good idea. But I just want to encourage you that you don't need to feel behind, and you don't need to sit here and think, oh my god, when am I gonna be ready for this big jump and this big leap into whatever it is you want? There is no big leap. There's just a ton of tiny steps. I think that also can help you let go of some jealousy. It helped me let go of jealousy for other people and like where they're at and the opportunities that they have and the things that they do, because I'm able to tell myself, okay, I have the power to take a tiny step towards that. What is that small step and how can I work towards it instead of just sitting and waiting for that one big thing to happen? Because I guarantee you there's not one big thing. I want you to go out this week, look at what it is you want, your big ultimate dream, whatever it is that you right now are like, oh my god, my life would be incredible if I did this one thing, if I have this one thing, whatever, and then find a little step you can do today and a little step you can do tomorrow, and just take little tiny steps. I guarantee you it's a lot closer than if you just sat here being like, wow, I wish I was handed that opportunity, or I wish I had the kind of money that they have. So just take some steps, see where you end up. Let me know. I'm gonna go read my book now because my daughter is over at her grandma's house and it's completely silent. It's just me and the plants and my coffee. I hope you all have a great week and you do something for yourself, and I'll talk to you on my next one. Bye.